all my happy frogs. How's everybody doing out there? I am wonderful. I am so glad you've joined me in Cassie's Corner. I am Cassie, and in this corner, in my corner, we talk about ways, tips, and tricks, hints, and just little things to help get over a depressive behavior or anxieties or anything of that nature. I'm not a doctor. I'm not any kind of medical person. I have studied in the medical field, but I am not any kind of professional person. All I am is just a person who has survived or endured or someone who faces very dark, deep, depressive behaviors and thoughts and anxieties. I've been through it. I've been there. I stayed in bed for 10 to 15 years. We're talking about abusive language. We're talking about anger. We're talking about some of the worst things you could think under a depressive thoughts and behaviors, under a depressive umbrella, so to speak. Thank you for joining me. Please, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so YouTube will recommend my videos a little bit more. Maybe I can reach other people. I feel like the comments are for me. I do take them personally, and I try my very best to answer all of them. If you would like, though, I do have a personal email if you happen to want to name names, or if you want to name situations you think your family may catch on in my comments, so that way it's more personal. It's Cassie's with no apostrophe _ corner@outlook.com, and I am on Facebook at facebook.com bows of happiness. I created this thing years ago, like back in 2012 2014, somewhere around in there, years and years ago. And I have a thing for bows, so it was Bows of Happiness, it was called Happy Girl for a long time, and then recently I changed it to Cassie's Corner, and for some reason it has a period at Cassie's period corner. I don't know what that's about, but I was trying to change it and I can't. But I am there also, and all I do there is give little pictures with a little platitudes, or sometimes I'll talk about reminders about the book that we're going. Sorry about that. The Daily Stoic, things that it just reiterates everything I say here. But that way it's on Facebook, and you can just remind, simple little reminders to help people deal with their depressive behaviors and things like that. We go through the book, The Daily Stoic, because I feel like the Stoics did it best. They had the best theory possible. If they control what is in their circle of control, they control, they worry about their circle of control, and they think before they speak, or they understand that they're going to have opponents, and they deal with the opponents in a way that they don't hurt the opponents, and they don't, slander them or anything else. It also brings peace to themselves, and they can live a much happier, peaceful life. And I believe, it is my belief, I'm not saying it's true or anything, I believe that this is probably the closest way that Jesus may have walked the earth. And in that, I'm not saying that he knew anything about Stoicism, because, again, it happened way after he walked the earth. But I'm thinking, when you think about him, he walked with prostitutes, and he walked with gamblers, and he walked with drunkards and lepers and things like that. And I'm sure everybody would get angry at the things that he would say, because they weren't sure if he was the Messiah or not. But he didn't face anyone by saying, think you idiot, or anything like that. He never said anything like that. He kind of dealt with them in a calm manner, and he's like, I'm telling you, all I can do is talk to you. I can't imagine him screaming at somebody. I can't imagine him taking the things that people would say or feel and using them in a way to make him angry, to make him scream at them. So that's my theory. That is just the closest way that I feel like Jesus has behaved when he walked the earth. So that is just how I feel. Something peaceful, something, it gives everybody their dignity. And I also feel like it is the best way to maybe conquer depression. It helped me. This book helped me a lot. when I was a depressive person. And I'm not saying I'm not a depressive person. I again think that it's much like alcoholism or drug addiction or cigarette addicting. You'll always be a depressive person. You always have that tendency to be a depressive person. But before I was a depressive person, I was a great, big, happy, healthy person who didn't let the small things get to me. And that's where I want to be again. And I chose in my mind to be that person again. I chose in my mind to think as if I thought then, and this is as close as I could get. So it can happen. You don't have to be depressed. Nothing, everything does not deserve a response. Nothing deserves a battle. Nothing, just nothing, unless it's like detrimental to your standing. Nothing deserves for somebody to words. You're fighting over words. You get mad. You're letting your feelings rile up over words, over what somebody else thinks. Think about what you're doing. And that's just how it is to me, right now. That's how I think. Okay, my spouse said so-and-so. It kind of hit a nerve. But you know what? The words and what he thinks. And I know what I know. I know what I think. I know what I am. So I shouldn't let his words and I shouldn't let his opinions sting me, because they're his. And he can control them. And I can control my behavior. So I'm going to let that ride. We are not going to argue today. I'm going to let that go. It's not worth having another battle. So he spoke his opinion. So I have my opinion. I have a lot of opinions about him too. Not telling you, but I do. I have a lot of opinions about him. But I don't go around and tell him them. I don't want to start. That's another can of worms I don't feel like opening. So I had to get comfortable. I have a blanket behind me and it's kind of hanging low. And I was sitting like my hips weren't. Anyway, never mind. It's okay. So we are on the 36th day. We're on February the 5th. And the title today is Steady Your Impulses. Dun, dun, dun. Steady your impulses. What are your impulses? Why do you act the way you do? Why do you think the way you do? What is it serving for you to think or act the way you do? I don't want to give much away to this title, so we'll just get into it. Okay. Don't be bounced around, but submit every impulse to the claims of justice and protect your clear conviction in every appearance. Marcus Aurelius said that in his Meditations. Think of the manic people in your life. Not the one suffering from an unfortunate disorder, and yes, I do believe depression can be a disorder. Anyway, but the ones whose lives and choices are in disorder. Everything is soaring highs and crushing lows. The day is either amazing or awful. Aren't these people exhausting? Don't you wish they had a filter through which they could test the good impulses versus the bad ones? A filter. What a novel idea. There is such a filter. Really? Let's see. Justice, reason, philosophy. If there's a central message of Stoic thought, it's this. Impulses of all kinds are going to come and your work is going to control them, like bringing a dog to heel. Put more simply, think before you act. Who is in control here? What principles are guiding me? I think this is a very, very powerful piece that I've read today. I haven't heard that before. I don't remember reading it before. And I think that's powerful. Who is in control? What is in control? You're going to let feelings control you? You're going to let thoughts control you? Because you're in control of those. Why are you going to let them control you? Aren't you supposed to be controlling what your thoughts are? Because, it's kind of like being scared of the boogeyman. And I know that's kind of a childish thing to say, but if you're scared of the boogeyman, are you going to just lay there and just be scared of the boogeyman until you scare yourself to death? Or are you going to try to think of something different? You're going to try to think about rainbows and lollipops and sunny days, and think about maybe time spent with your mom and dad, things that make you safe. You don't want to sit there and think about the boogeyman all day. It's kind of the same thing. It really is. Am I going to sit here and stew over what somebody says about me? Am I going to stew over what somebody thinks about a depressive person? Or, okay, I've heard everything under the sun. Again, I was a depressive person for about 10 to 15 years, and I was not a very good person in the interim. I was just not, and I'm not saying I was doing like bad sins and trying to murder people or anything like that. I could not, my principles were messed up because my thoughts were taken over. So, I would speak of rude things. I would speak of everything about me was negative. And I let that rule me. I let that, when I was teaching, when I was working, when I was, everything was just rude, 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 rude. And down, 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 down. And I was bringing everybody with me. So much so that nobody wanted to be around me. And now I understand. I got it. I understand it. I wouldn't want to be around somebody who was negative all the time either. And I don't want to be around people that are negative all the time, because I don't want them to bring me down. I understand you're sad, but I didn't have anybody to support me. If you have a person, maybe a spouse or a sister or a mother or whatever, who supports you, that is wonderful, that they can support you and be there for you and help take care of you. But I didn't have that. I had to do it all on my own. I had to learn all of this all on my own within a 10, 15 year period. And it was dark. It was, I didn't get out of bed. I didn't get up and get dressed. I will admit, I'm in jogger pants and a t-shirt, and I just run around the house. If I'm not going to go anywhere, I don't see the point in me getting up and making up. Sometimes I do get up and I get made up and things like that. But in reality, if I'm just going to sit home and clean up, I don't see the point in me. I don't work. I want to. I'm trying to get back in school. I was telling you that yesterday. And I kind of want to focus more on schoolwork. But I'll be here. I'll still be here and do my videos and things like that. But I want to be able to get back into the workforce, because my husband is 18 months away from retiring. Actually, a little lower than that. Anyway, he's about 12 months. 12 months next month. So, yeah, I kind of want to get back in the workforce, and I want to, help support us while he's in retirement mode. I think that would be wonderful. So, but I really cannot afford to let my emotions and my thoughts and my opinions at this point control me, because I've worked so hard to get out of that. I no longer dread waking up every day. And that was sad, when you are waking up and then you're like, why did I have to wake up? Why? Why do I have to put up with this stuff today? That's sad. Stop that. Stop that. You're awake. You are living and you are breathing. It is wonderful to wake up. It is a beautiful day. No matter the weather outside, it should be beautiful all the time. We get to breathe, and we get to see color, and we get to experience touch, and we get to feel the wind on our face and feel the sunshine come down at us when sunshine does appear. Just saying. We hit the 60s the other day. I was so excited after everything was like 32 degrees for about 2 weeks. It's 34 now, so... It was 32 a minute ago. Actually did this video before. And then my computer didn't want to, I don't know, something about this computer is just, yeah, so you can stop being sad. You don't have to be sad. There is a way to control it. There is a filter. You don't have to be hi this minute, and then the minute somebody says something negative, blah, 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 blah. You don't have to do that. It is not necessary, and it can be controlled, but you have to be the one that wants it. Otherwise, I can't give it to you. I can't give you any tips and tricks to help you, and I've been there too. Everybody would give me tips and tricks, and now those tips and tricks kind of make sense, and they I'm reading them from the Daily Stoic. I mean, seeing exactly, I mean, they didn't say it bit by bit like the Daily Stoic does, but they did give me tips and tricks. They did say, think differently. And in my mind, I would be like, you think differently. How dare you think I just have little buttons to match in my brain? I just can't switch it on and off. But I did. I could. I was just so low, and I thought that everything was useless. And but you can absolutely control what you think. There's absolutely a filter for you to get your mind straight. Again, we're going to make a list. We're going to make a list, two lists. One is things I can't control, things I can control. Worry about the things that you can control. Don't worry about this over here that you cannot. I mean, keep your list of the things you cannot control. And remind yourself every day, I can't control the weather. I can't control the time. I can't control other people. I can't control the traffic. Keep that in mind. Master this list. Keep that in mind. But only focus on what you can control. Okay, I've offered you the chance to write down a daily journal. Maybe take a piece of paper and like draw a line through it. Hang on just a minute. Draw a little line halfway through. You know, take a piece of paper, just plain piece of paper. It doesn't have to be expensive. Just plain piece of paper. Draw a line halfway through. Have one for AM, one for PM. Make sure you journal what you're thinking in the morning, and make sure you journal what you're thinking at night before you go to bed. Or make a list of your things you want to accomplish. Make sure you write down what you have accomplished. Make sure you do this about six months to a year of when you started. 6 months to a year, so that way you have a concrete record of what it is you think or what it is that's triggering you. You can go back and see where your thought process is, what it is that is upsetting you. Write down what upsets you. Write down what somebody says that upset you. Write it all down, so that way you can come back to it later and say, that's where I lost control. That's where I relinquished my control to someone else or to something else or to a feeling or to a thought. It is imperative that you keep a record of this so that you know what to think every day. Also, what is another thing that, oh my gosh, I had it right in my head. Journal affirmations. Affirmations are important. You have to say them out loud. Please be aware of people around you when you say that. Make sure you're alone, because people can look at you like crazy. Start simple. Make sure it's true. I'm a mother. I'm a sister. I'm responsible for other beings. I am responsible for cooking this meal. I have to get up. I have to, I can clean. I can do that. Tell yourself, I can. Don't say I cannot, because that is not good. Don't limit yourself. Actually, challenge yourself. And we talked the other day about not doing things out of habit. If we do things out of habit because it's always been done that way before, we're not challenging our brains. We're not challenging our imagination. We're not challenging our thought process. We're just getting up and we're doing things out of habit. Take washing clothes, for instance. Try to do it a better way. Find a better way that doesn't take as long. Make sure, fold things differently. See what's easier. Just stay out of the stale day-to-day things. Make sure you challenge what you are doing. Do it a better way. Do it a different way. Do it. Find an easier way. Find a better way. Find a funner way to do things, so that way you don't feel like it's such a chore anymore. Affirmations, again, I'm going to say it again. Say them out loud. These will filter out the negative thoughts. Remember, the negative thoughts are voices that you heard from before. It could be from somebody else. Mine were my mother, when my mother would call me ugly or stupid or things like that. I've heard her. I'd had this negative, when I do something silly, it's like, Cassie, you're so stupid. And then I realized, that is my mother's voice. Why am I hearing my mother tell me that? My mother doesn't live here anymore. She died in 2020. I should not be able to hear her say those things to me anymore. So, yes, in 2020, I was still kind of messed up, kind of. But I had to take my affirmations and say, I am a mom. This is my house. This is not my mom's house. I had to start small, and then I figured out eventually I am kind of an amazing person. I've kind of gone through a bunch of crap that I probably shouldn't have gone through. And I know a lot of people do. Everybody's life's not picture perfect. I understand that. And I'm not a special case, but I am amazing in the fact that I've gone through what I have gone through. So I feel like I'm a strong person. It's about to say it's 10 o'clock. Just 10 o'clock. I feel like I'm a strong person to be able to go through what I've gone through. And still on top of that, I didn't have any support whatsoever. None. I had no support whatsoever. I mean, my husband was here, and he would tell me things like think different, or that's not healthy, or whatever. But he didn't go into detail and say, you've got to train your brain to think different things. The circle of control, the thinking one negative. Okay, the minute I thought one negative thing, and this was actually very recent. If I think one thing that's negative, I have to think two things positive, because it trains my brain to look for the positive in everything. So that way I'm not dwelling on what the negative is. I don't have to sit there and dwell on that negative situation. Even, hey, Cassie, you did that wrong. Or, look, Cassie, you hurt your finger. Well, now, instead of reaching into a soapy thing of water, I empty it before I reach in there anymore to look for the knives, because I have messed my fingers up. And also, I'm better about keeping away from the blade. I put them down where it's simple, in the cutlery case. I put them face downward. Anybody can do that. Everybody does that, but no, not necessarily me all the time. So I've learned to be very careful around the knife. Very, very careful. Two different ways. Yes. See how silly I can be? See how goofy I can be? But that's okay. I've made you laugh. I hope I have anyway. Y'all have a great belly laugh today. Please, laughter is the best medicine. Say your affirmations. Affirmations mean the world to you. I promise you, once you realize how amazing you can be, how wonderful it is to be in charge of your brain and what you think and what you feel. You find somebody you appreciate, give them kindness, tell them that they're doing a wonderful job. Tell your daughter you're very, very glad that she's there to help you, that she helps you without you having to ask her. I would love to have that child. Like if she washes dishes all the time and doesn't say anything. I mean, she's amazing. She doesn't, you could have my daughter who fights with me about having to do dishes. Anyway, be kind, be kind, be kind, be kind. Everybody is fighting a battle. Everybody hits sadness. Everybody hits a depressive state. It's not fair. It's not nice, but it's not necessary. And you can be the one to pull someone out of it. I'm trying to pull a lot of people out of it. I don't like to think of somebody laying in their bed under the covers so sad that they cannot get up and function day to day. So if that is you, I am so much praying for you. I don't like the thought of it. It breaks my heart. Been there, done that, got the shirt, the streamer, and the whistle, and the hat, and everything of that nature. Y'all have a beautiful, beautiful day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.